Now Sproles is the back. With a fake toss, and Breeze is going to go down, and that's Averill coming in.
Rodgers on first down, looking end zone, can't find anyone, down he goes. Back at the 10-yard line. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Lambeau Field as Aaron Rodgers hands it off to Eddie Lacy.
For the Lions. On first down, Jonathan Stewart the carry. Met right at the 25-yard line by Ndamukong Suh and shoved backwards. View or a challenge. Handoff as Newton was falling to the ground. Stewart carries. Let's go back to that catch and take a closer look at his feet.
Four-man rush. Rodgers in trouble. Ndamukong Suh eats him alive. Fred Jackson, the running back, and three wide receivers right. Here's Jackson. And nobody there to help him out. Lions swarm to the ball and throw him for a loss. And we've reached the 2-minute warning.
Bridgewater from the shotgun. Looking for a target. And he's sacked. Josh Bynes coming off the edge. Matt Asiata with the carry. DeAndre Levy with the stop. Loss of 2 brings up a 3rd and 12. Miami Dolphins. Teddy Bridgewater. Hauled down again.
Breeze is going to go down. James ahead of though from his safety spot. Batted incomplete.
And they shut out New England 21-0. Largest margin of victory since '95. Lamar Miller. The Detroit Den for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns rushing. 2nd and 12. Tannehill. The rush coming. Tannehill goes down. And Ndamukong Suh. First man to the quarterback. It's a loss of 10 for Detroit. This has been Miami's best drive of the day. Daniel Thomas has nowhere to run.
Stanton gets rid of it on 3rd and 9. Stanton's throw is low and incomplete. So the field goal try, if they decide to go for it, he was knocked down by Jason Jones.
Just the JFK music. Here's a handoff and right into the waiting arms of Ziggy Ansah, and Ndamukong Suh is Mr. Vereen, and Shane loses 5. That 2 for 2 in the red zone are the Patriots. Handoff to Vereen. He's swallowed up by Whitehead for the extra playoff spots after the division leaders.
That was a huge loss for Kansas City.
Out in Oakland, first win for the Raiders. Suh makes the stop on Blunt, no gain.
The running play to Charles Sims, and they'll be knocked back for a loss thanks to Ndamukong Suh. So now first down and 20. Back on the 23. And caught in his step is Charles Sims by Ndamukong Suh.
They just have a hard time of moving the ball without the aid of the Detroit Lions in this game with penalties.
3rd and 14. Down goes McCown. And let's see if they call it a safety. Suh is there.
Banyard remains the back. Bridgewater is going to go down. Ndamukong Suh.
Blitz. And Clausen got hit. The incompletion to make it 3rd down and goal. Almost through the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 14. Clausen's in trouble. Penalty flag on the play. Clausen brought down back at the 40 by Ndamukong Suh. Clausen. Suh. And the defense for the Lions steps up. It's 4th down. They do go in on a roll, and Cam Newton coming back off the fractures in his back. He and that team have been impressive the last 2 weeks. Romo protected, pulls it back. And now is brought down. And a big sack for this Lions defense. Romo in trouble again. And sacked again. And there he is, second play in a row. And Ndamukong Suh.
Who picked Andrew Luck in that opener in Buffalo. 40 seconds to play before halftime. And a lot to talk about.
It's a personality.
3rd and a short one. Dixon unable to get the first down. So finally Miami starting to take a little bit of the momentum.
2nd and 11. Give it to Stacy. And Ndamukong Suh is involved there.
3rd down and 2. Mariota's pass deflected and incomplete.
Skirt right off the hands of a potential receiver.
2nd and 10, and Polk is blown up. And it really puts the Texans to make it 41-0. Final 2 minutes before halftime. 1st and 10 Hoyer from the 40. And Hoyer sacked again. Ndamukong Suh. First time in Suh's career that he's gone the first 5 games of the season without a sack. 2nd and 17.
Guess what?
And they get to him again with Suh.
It comes in waves. Last week,
Watkins touchdown catch earlier. That penalty on Buffalo was their 12th of the game. And speaking of Suh, he gets to Taylor.
2 and a 3rd and 3. They've been staying in manageable situations in that down and distance.
Ryan Matthews is just engulfed, and maybe the ball coughed up. Suh jumps on his back. They lose 4 on the play. And back to the 48-yard line.
He's having a field day. 3 catches, 120 yards already.
1st down and 10. Look out for Shelby. And then Suh brings him down back at the 19. That's a sack and a loss of 7. Nice play by Ndamukong Suh. Sproles remains 1st and 10. Darren Sproles wrapped up by Suh, who's had a good game. Shelby finishes him off at the 48 with a loss of 4. 1st down and 10 from the 46. Nowhere to go there. Here's Suh once again with a loss of 3, and DeMarco Murray back to the 49.
Opening possession of the 3rd quarter. Running again, and he runs right into a brick wall named Ndamukong Suh. Goodness. At Indianapolis, they came all the way back. Matt Hasselbeck about to be 3-0 as a Colts starter. The Falcons are reeling, and on this 4th down play, they will go nowhere.
Less than a yard for the Jets. First possession of the day. With a handoff. Ivory is stuffed. Miami will take over. Ivory cannot get the necessary yardage. New set of downs for the Jets. It's Ivory. Breaks a tackle again. Tries to break another. Ivory moving in the wrong direction, and Miami gets to him.
And they won't come off the field.
Eli Manning giving instructions to Will Tye, the first-year tight end. 2nd and 7, a draw right into the waiting arm. 2nd and goal. Manning looked that way. It was covered. Back in the middle. It's knocked down. Pass incomplete. And Ndamukong Suh, the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. To Knicks as any other receiver he's played with. Williams. Suh got a handoff. Shelby and Suh bring down Williams for a loss of a couple of yards.
It's Chris McCain who has a knee injury, and his return is doubtful, as we saw him helped off on the cart. 3rd down and 3. Rivers in trouble, still on his feet, and now they will blow the whistle.
He's had everything. And they want to keep him upright today. 1st and 10. Hasselbeck under pressure, trying to get away. He's got Suh chasing it, and Suh will knock him out of bounds.
Ryan at the left guard. Trey Jackson at the right. 1st and 10. Cannon the block. Brady was hit by Shelby. That ball is loose, and he goes and tries to vacuum it in. Boy, the pressure on Brady has been significant today. He struggled against the Jets. 2nd and 15. Brady to White with a Shelby tackle and a gain of a yard up to the 16.
In there, we'll see if he becomes the guy in the backfield in the second half. Michael got his opportunity in the first half. Play fake. Wilson in trouble. Wilson is dropped. And Ndamukong Suh, Portland, Oregon native.
Dolphin, who had 3 of them last week at Seattle. The give is to James White, who goes nowhere, and Ndamukong Suh making that stop.
And 43 yards on the afternoon. We're in overtime in Miami, all tied at 24. Kessler set. Flag comes in at the end of the play. It was Wake and Suh.
It's at 1. He just gets it off. Zeller's in trouble, and he is down. And Ndamukong Suh.
Fitzpatrick going to throw for it over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Inunwa and batted away by Bobby McCain. Fitzpatrick under pressure and goes down. And that is Ndamukong Suh. Rivers can't break away this time and goes down at the 13-yard line. Andre Branch along with Ndamukong Suh.
Sure, we're going to have quarterbacks we're going to talk about the same level this year as we did last year with Wentz and Goff. I'm not sure we're going to get to that level.
Ndamukong Suh, first time we've called his name all day today.
You got to show up and step up here. Forte the back. Difficult snap. Penny lucky to get it. And unlucky that Ndamukong Suh was waiting to just put him down. Loss of 3 on the play. While Powell the back, 15 in the red zone. The shovel pass to Powell, and Suh waiting, and they blew that one dead. 4. Those 2 linebackers sniff it in there. They get out. Penny's going to get hit and go down. And the ball came out as well. Cameron Wake hit him. It is free, and it belongs to the Dolphins. And Ndamukong Suh recovers, but Cameron Wake, who's still going off the Achilles injury last year. 2 guys coming in clean. I mean, the Jets' protection's been abysmal tonight. So Ryan Fitzpatrick back in there for the Jets. Bilal Powell will not go anywhere. And Ndamukong Suh's been extraordinarily good tonight with the tackle.
McCoy. And McCoy, hopefully somebody from the Bears is letting him know that down on the sideline. 3rd and 3. Taylor had it tipped. And Ndamukong Suh.
Playoff debut, and he's having a big one.
Yeah.
3rd and goal. Roethlisberger in trouble, and he is taken down by Suh. Miami's first sack of the game.
That catches the defense off guard. This is Gordon, and Gordon buried back at the 30-yard line. Leading the charge, Ndamukong Suh. Rivers led offense going no huddle. Going to give it straight ahead, and no gain.
In the NFL on 3rd down so far this year. Play clock running down. Breeze can't handle the snap, and Breeze gets buried. Cameron Wake came in, so did Suh, to make sure the Saints couldn't go any further, and we have a late flag, far side of the field. Indication is it's on New Orleans.
The field after that first drive for the Titans. Castle on the move, chased by Suh, and Suh with a hard hit, knocking Castle out of bounds.
Since he touched the football. And he's going to throw. And he's going to go down. First sack of the day for the Dolphins.
Extra lineman over here, and he killed the play, so he's trying to do something a little different, which is the toss.
And Buck Allen has Suh and others throwing him back for a loss of 1.
From the 43. Carr under pressure.
rusher loses the ball, and it's picked up by Oakland, by Newhouse, and then Newhouse loses the ball. And a whole bunch of Dolphin jerseys are there, and Miami has it. So they avoided disaster. It was Suh who busted up the play.
First down at the 12. Running play. Lewis is brought down by Suh.
Patriots got to pass protect, need some help against these edge rushers.
Brady. Again, that movement in the pocket, but nowhere to throw it, and he gets dumped by Ndamukong Suh.
Tyrod Taylor calm and cool on that first drive.
Oh, McCoy hammered in the backfield by Ndamukong Suh. Today for Buffalo. This is McCoy. Denied his third score of the day. That's Ndamukong Suh in the middle.
Now this is his first sack as a Los Angeles Ram, working on the rookie. Right away, Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator, puts his most experienced lineman on the rookie. Cousins sacked. Ndamukong Suh.
Field to Treadwell.
Cousins has his arm hit. Ball is out. Hit by John Franklin Myers. Rams say they have it. Right now, it's ruled a fumble.
I think it is a fumble, Joe, and now it's a matter of who's on it.
Rams have it.
Wilson being rushed. Down he goes. And Ndamukong Suh got him this time, and no flags. So the Rams defense really comes up.
Wilson smashed. Suh.
Anything to try and get him the ball and let him use his talents.
On second down. Four-man rush, but there's pressure. Rosen senses, tries to get away, but can't do it. And Ndamukong Suh delivers with the sack, but there was pressure from all over. Here, though, it's third down. Rosen and tipped at the line by Suh, who tried to tip it to himself, but it's incomplete. So a couple of big plays by Ndamukong Suh on this drive. Out here is Johnson, who bounces off a block. Ebicom really blew that play up, and David Johnson has nowhere to go.
How about Dante Fowler? Here's
Elliott, well played. Suh. Kamara, 5 catches, 51 yards in this first half. Breeze in trouble, down he goes. That's Suh. Second down and 16. Breeze, Brocker's in his face, and he's not alone. Suh again. Dante Fowler there as well.
Him and Suh.
Third down and 1, and Coleman will not get there with Suh leading the way.
You know, to come out of the blocks, we knew opening day would be tough against the Rams.
Newton keeps, nowhere to go. Ball's out. Looks like Tampa Bay has it. Levante David knocked it out, and the Buccaneers take it over.
Play clock is at 1. Giants get the snap away. Looking to run up the middle, and wrapped up by Vita Vea.
Blitz. Ball's out. Buccaneers are going to win this game. And Ndamukong Suh, a former Ram, is in the end zone to seal it for Tampa Bay.
Boy, I tell you what, there is a new threat off.
Vernon Butler with his second straight forced fumble, but that one was recovered. Allen finds himself in trouble.
Boy, you're talking about a guy that is given and given and given to this game. And Murray is dropped by Ndamukong Suh before he can get enough for a first down.
They said would be an alert.
We're going to have to run a play before the end of the third quarter. They do to Kamara. And he is dropped in the 33-yard line.
Because you know they're trying to get 4 or 5 guys out in the pattern.
Fourth down and 5, and Ryan in trouble and goes down. That's the 6th sack of the game, and Jason Pierre-Paul, and a loose ball picked up and run in by Suh. touchdown. So the sack by 2nd down and 9.
I'm not telling him anything.
Yeah, from the 11-yard line. They spread it out here for Foles. Foles getting rushed from behind, and down he goes. And the ball is loose. Ball is loose. You saw the flag go down as to where the sack would be, and it was Carl Nassib who forced the fumble.
It's a fumble recovered by the defense.
And the Buccaneers recover. That's the 3rd turnover of the first half.
But excellent closing speed. So Todd Bowles, their defensive coordinator. 3rd and 10. Brissett's pass comes out wobbly, and it's incomplete. Nearly picked.
6:05 remaining. Clock running in the 4th quarter. Blau stepping up and steps right into a sack. Suh
here in Tampa. Carlos Hyde holds a flag on the play, which is going to stop the clock. But first and foremost, this 3rd and 9. Bucks out of timeouts. There's Hyde taken down quickly by a host of Bucks led by Suh.
Batted down. I believe that may have been Suh.
McCaffrey wide. Collapsing pocket. Bridgewater goes down. Bridgewater collapsing pocket. Down he goes.
That's just in his blood. He can't
just go get him.
Oh, a fumble. Chargers cough it up.
With 41 seconds left, Joshua Kelly, the rookie.
Foles throws. That ball was tipped. Incomplete. Incomplete. It hit the ground. I'm looking out for a flag because we're conditioned to do so in this game. There are none, and it's 4th down through 4 games. 21 seconds left. No timeouts. And now sacked again. Jones can't escape that time.
Make a huge difference. And this is Latavius Murray, and he runs right into Ndamukong Suh. Almost a perfect night for them. Murray, no gain. Here's Michelle.
They are eating him alive.
3rd and 1. Gonna run. Akers won't get there.
Sean Murphy bunting was shaken up on that last play. Herb Miller has come in. And Suh has a hold of Edwards-Helaire for a loss.
Cousins is going to be swallowed up.
They knew, or they would have any thought that he would come in here and throw almost 40 touchdowns. Man, that's getting what you pay for.
And there's a sack on Matt Ryan.
NFL team. He's taken a total of 126 snaps in his career. That handoff's not going to go anywhere. Antonio Gibson, the timing didn't look great. The result wasn't good at all.
Just 5 minutes remaining. Oh, what a hit. Ball is out, recovered by Kansas City.
First time they've had to deal with noise in a long time. And that will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. That's Ndamukong Suh.
Ryan pressure up the middle, and he's buried. Ndamukong Suh got there first.
45 race. Big if they can go down and score. This keeps them in this thing.
Oh, the ball came out. Got knocked loose from behind. It's still on the ground.
Shaq Barrett with the strip coming around the edge.
Recovered by the Buccaneers.
And he still doesn't. 2nd and goal. Play made by Suh.
And it does clean things up, knowing that you've got the one-on-one looks, but they've scored the last 3 times they've had the ball.
Simeon steps up and gets sacked by Suh. Got a little help from Shaq Barrett. And it is a loss on 1st down.
And I think Todd does a good job, or as good a job as anybody at that.
Heineke, pocket collapsing, and Ndamukong Suh puts him down at the 1.
So Desir in at quarterback, number 29. Wentz looking that way. Pressure though, and down he goes. And Ndamukong Suh got home for the sack.
Third down and 4. As Ryan rolls to his right, he's in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 38-yard line. Third down and 7. Ryan sacked. 4th time today. And for the 2nd time, it's Ndamukong Suh.
See if they bring this all out pressure they're showing.
Darnold hit as he throws, pass incomplete. Heat right up the gut from Vita Vea.
Akers. Oh, he lost the ball! And the Buccaneers come up with it at the 30-yard line. And Ndamukong Suh.
8:56 to go in the 3rd. Fake the handoff. Ryan to throw. Protection breaks down, and Ryan is smothered on the play. And Ndamukong Suh along with Linval Joseph.
Pressure. Prescott is sacked. Second one by Philadelphia today. Graham got there, and so did Suh.
Nope, he's going to play running back. Kelvin Kamara takes a snap. It's a toss back to Hill. Hill gets sacked. Milton Williams joins the sack party with a 7th of the day for Philly.